Welcome back. In this tutorial we're going to look at spells. Spells, like every other item, are scriptable objects that you can create by going create Eadon inventory items spell. The spell scriptable object has the normal ID and UI and general tabs like every other item, and it has a spell tab. Here you can see the spell tab type, which is mostly used by Eadon AI to figure out which spell to cast. The spell action, which is the meat of the spell. The cooldown, particles that you can spawn on the hands or on the feet, the position of the player, attached or not, the position you spawn the projectile from, basically from which bone, or whether you want to spawn it on the ground. The spell action is basically what happens when you cast a spell. You can, in this case, throw a projectile at point 0.5 of this animation, and this is the projectile. The projectile is basically a particle VFX with a transfer motion projectile, same component that moves arrows, and a projectile damage, exactly like a spell. You could spawn the arrow and it would work the same. The difference is that when you have added fireball here, when you go into play mode and you equip the spell, you cast the spell, you see in the slot the cooldown that prevents you from casting it until it's complete. There are a few predefined spell actions that you can find here. Empty spell and generic spell are just used to spawn VFX. Healing spell heals the player. Projectile spawns a projectile, and trigger ability lets you use an ability as a spell. We get to abilities in a later tutorial. If you want more spell actions, you can get the Eadon RPG add-on or Eadon Advanced RPG add-on, which will have a lot more spell action for you to choose from. That's it for this tutorial.